Hello and welcome to Raw Politics. This is Samson Ogola. Today I begin by discussing why is it difficult for me to trust whatever Raila Odinga says. Now many have asked me how comes whatever Raila says is something that you have to punch holes on. And here are my points. There is a lot of inconsistency in what the former Prime Minister always says. For instance, I'll give you 5 scenarios. The first is election. The value of his word. So when he says that if he loses, he will accept the results, because this is something that he was asked by the media, which was very friendly to him by that time. And he answered, and I quote, "I will accept the results and concede defeat." That has not been the case. As you can see, 8 months later, Raila Odinga is still on the streets, claiming that the elections were stolen and insisting that he does not recognize the current regime. That is one case, very inconsistent. Whatever he says, you cannot follow it through and believe in it. Number 2, let's take a case of religious freedom. Raila has always demanded for the regulation of churches. To some extent, I agree with him. Now, recently, we have cases of Shakahola massacre, and other pastors have come under the spotlight, and people demand that there should be regulation of churches. Raila is again against the formation of a commission of inquiry that is going to tell the nation what actually happened in the Shakahola forest. Another thing on religious freedom, when photos of the spouse of the deputy president, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, appeared online, showing that she attended one of the crusades of Pastor Ezekiel in Nairobi, Raila was first to criticize her, claiming that association with such pastors was a state doing its part in promoting things like cultism. Yet yesterday he spent the whole day with the same guy. So we have a case of when it is with him, it's okay, but when it is with other people, then it is wrong. That is on religious freedom. Another issue is the cost of living. And this, ladies and gentlemen, if you followed our politics for the last 5 years, you'll know that we have had problem with our cost of living. It's been just going high and high. And it was worse during the handshake government. Yet, there is no single day Raila took his people to the street. In fact, if you can remember, Raila made it clear that tunabweka by asking if the president or the current, the then regime could do something to make changes, to make life a little bit easier for Kenyans. He told us that the cost of living was not as a result of bad policies by the then President Uhuru. He insisted that this had external influence. Now, today, that products have even dropped in prices. Cooking oil is at 300 a liter, as opposed to 500 that it was then. We have cooking flour, the maize flour that is at below 170 in some cases, or even 159. Not the 230 it was during the handshake. Yet Raila is on the street demanding that the prices of unga should go down. He didn't demonstrate when it was 230, but he has the courage to go on the street when it is 150. So that is some high level of hypocrisy that makes it difficult for somebody like me to trust what the former Prime Minister says. There is another issue of democracy, and this is a funny one. During the handshake regime, Raila and his team used the ODM numbers in parliament to help President Uhuru kick out every person they thought was related to Ruto. Every person. Actually, just smiling with Ruto would get you out of a committee. And he used, because Ruto supporters were a little bit many, he used the support from ODM to destroy Jubilee. Today, the same person is accusing the party of William Ruto, that is UDA, of interfering with democracy. So during his time, it was very okay to interfere with the management of Jubilee because it was favoring him. Now that Jubilee is having their own internal wrangles and things are not working for Raila, he is now all over accusing UDA of doing the same. Yet in reality, UDA is not even involved in any way. So that is, when it comes to democracy, Raila does not does not preach what he practices. He would actually tell you that it is blue when it is actually red. There's another thing on governance. So Raila maintains that he does not recognize Ruto and his regime. And that is something that he has repeated several times. In fact, as of now, if you are a Luo governor, any attempt to even smile with Ruto will cause you a lot of problems. Yet the same Raila is having a bipartisan talk with the same government he doesn't recognize. So you are left wondering, what type of person is this? On the one hand, I don't recognize this government. This is illegitimate. There is nothing I can do with these people. On the other hand, I am talking with them so that we can find solutions. So on what grounds are you talking with them? You see, a high level of duplicity. I think I've captured the few that I could capture now. But I can tell you for sure that if you trust what Raila says, then you are in for a rude shock. This is somebody who can say GMO is okay today and say tomorrow that it would make you grow breast. Is somebody who can say I will accept defeat and then insist that elections were stolen, even though he doesn't have any evidence, even though there is no shred of evidence to support that. So if you ask me, why don't you trust this guy? The first reason I would give you is that he does not mean what he says. It is high level of hypocrisy, and such a leader does not inspire trust. Thank you.